And 3, 2, 1, you're live.
Hello, everybody. Galigia Koeskwe, Dancing Heron, Dances with Death, call me Gail, here in my ancestral Selagi homeland in the river basin of Wayunwi Gunaita, also called the Long Man, whose head is in the mountain and his feet are in the ocean. On our sacred mountain, Aragu, which means helping many people, in Takiosti, also called Asheville, North Carolina. I'm happy to welcome all of you to join us today. I'm just giving you a little plant medicine as you come into the room. You know, we are the people who resisted both the removal on the Trail of Tears and the reservation called Cherokee. And I want to share the plant medicine that helped us do that. The federal troops actually came in here and killed all the animals thinking they would starve us out. But we knew the plant medicine, and the plant medicine helped us. And this is what I'm going to share with you today. So our original sage that's native to our homeland is actually the rabbit tobacco, also called everlasting. You can see it's a beautiful little plant. And this is the curly leaf. So I'm going to share a little bit with you. My chaga ember. Can you see the chaga ember? My turtle shell. This is where we hold our medicine, in the turtle shell. See how the ember, the original embers, this is what lit the pipe also. The chaga ember grows on the black birch and the white birch. And this is medicine that we also smokes. So I'm going to sniff a little bit. I'm going to offer some to Sarah, because I always offer some to Sarah when she's here dancing with me. So you can all Zoom sniff. I don't know how that works, but we'll try it. And I'm going to call in my Salagi ancestors who've done their work with the cedar, and our ancestors who have been here from the beginning, the stones. The stones are our eldest ancestors. So we call them in with the cedar. And you hear that little pop crack, I hope. Yeah. Call them in with the cedar. And then the medicine of this time of the year is our Ipsissewa. Ipsissewa is our winter kidney tonic. So it helps us all with kidneys. And this is the secret of the bears. They can actually turn off their kidneys when they're in hibernation. And then they just start right back up. This is another one that we smokes. So I offer it to all of you, our ancestral medicine. And then we carry these teachings with our original tobacco, the lobelia. These are the leaves that grow wild here. And this is the interpreter. Smoke spirals and carries our messages and interprets the language with all. And of course, we just want to offer our sweetness with a little sweet grass. Sweetness to all. So much gratitude to all of you who've come to dance today. Okay. So we are calling in eagles to hunt for endings so that Mother Earth can renew in 2022. This came about in a very synchronistic way. We gathered at the exact time of the eclipse, or I did, with 7 women all around the world. We actually birthed something to share for the collective. And this is what we came up with, a transformation dance. The first one that we were working with is the guided transformation with the elements, the 4 elements of earth, air, fire, and water. And we want to call them in to be with us today. And we also want to call in our ancestors. We want to do that with a song from Dagaru, a traditional song that goes back to the African continent, where we all share ancestors. We all have ancestry in this original wave of humans. So I'm going to ask you to join me in this song that calls in our original ancestors. Harasamane, 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 oh, harasamane, oh, haramamane, 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 oh, haramamane, oh. Harasamane, 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 oh, harasamane, oh, haramamane, 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 oh, haramamane, oh. So thank you all for experiencing the plant medicine with me and our most valuable medicine and prayers. We didn't give up to the anthropologists until we were tricked into it, our song medicine. And this one is, of course, from the Dagaru people and was shared by a beautiful elder who recently crossed over, so we can't give him credit by name. We don't say the name in the first year of transition because we don't want to call them back. But I'll be happy to tell you if you need to know. And I will say that Michael Mead shares that song on SoundCloud too, if you want to call your ancestors into gatherings and they join us to make it a sacred place. Okay, so when we were creating this song, as always, I was working with Noah Proudfoot, who's Sarah's beloved, and we actually started with a cello piece from Victoria Ulmer. She may be joining us on Facebook. I don't know, I can't see that, but it was a beautiful cello piece. And when Noah put the flute with this cello track that she sent him, there was a chirp that came out of the flute, and it was just like an eagle chirp. And it really perked up my ears, and I asked him if he could do that in some other places, and he tried to duplicate it with the flute, and he couldn't. It was just a spontaneous thing that came from the flute in the composition of the music. So I started listening to the golden eagles that live here on the mountain with me. Their voice is thunder and lightning. And then I was talking, with Sarah as Noah was adding more to the music, and she played the rain stick in the composition. And Sarah is born in the day sign of the eagle. So she's our resident eagle carrier here, and she'll be dancing with us today. And as I listened, more and more, the eagles just kept speaking. And I added a drum beat so we could dance. And we actually went off on another track with the dance for the elements. But this one just kept speaking to me, and I kept listening to it. And then when I got this invitation on Tuesday, yeah, that's just a few days ago. The first thing I did was go to Claudia, one of my Mayan friends. She's on Facebook too. She couldn't be here with us, couldn't get Zoom updated. I know some of you have had those problems, but it's all good. We're all here, however, we're here. So she and I talked about the eagles, and she told me all the Mayan teachings with eagles, and she was going to tell you about the Mayan teachings with eagles if she could have gotten here today, but here we are. And some other things I did, I shared Grandmother Raven Hale's book, Cherokee Astrology, which is just all of our teachings in a format that she could get out in the public without too much controversy. So I really recommend that book if you want to find your own day sign and if you want to learn more about the Salagi teachings and ways. But here we are with this song, and it's beautiful energy. And I want to invite anyone who has ancestral eagle teachings that they can share. Be thinking about that. A little bit later, we're going to ask you to share your ancestral eagle associations with us. I'll start by example with my Salgi experiences, which include the magic that stirred when the red-tailed hawk showed up. Everybody could feel it. Everybody just got so excited and felt that magic. And that is actually what the Hopi people call the red eagle. And they are the people who carry our teachings, our red race teachings, in our prophecies. So let's just give some thought to any experiences we may have with the red-tailed hawk as the red eagle. There wasn't a lot of eagles when I was growing up, and our ways and our language was illegal. We didn't see a lot of actual eagles, but now they're all coming back. They're all migrating through, and the bald eagles just showed up recently. So we're so happy to have their energy back in the mountain. And that's another reason I'm really glad that we can share in this way. And also, I will always remember a dream that came at a stressful point where we thought we may be losing a family member. It was a dream of a spinning wheel, a turquoise vertical spinning wheel. It was standing up, a circular spinning wheel. And my mother stepped onto this turquoise wheel, and she spread her arms and legs to balance herself. And she said directly to me, "The way between lives the way between lives." And another mother in the dream, her sister, they were all my mothers and fathers, all of her 11 other brothers and sisters, 7 women, 5 men. Added to the dream, she said, "Let's use the blue thunderbird against the night sky." And just feel that energy. This is the magic that we're dancing with today. My training as a Jungian depth psychology specialist includes many images, symbols that go beyond words, stories, myths from all over the world. All kinds of indigenous people, we're all indigenous to somewhere. If we can reach back into our culture, there's so much value there to learn and to share. Because psychology originated with indigenous medicine people ways. The Europeans were only working with the body in healing disease. And when they could come to this continent and other continents and talk to the medicine people and see that our belief that illness begins in the spirit can also be worked with in our medicine ways. Then they started the system of psychology. There's an 800-page book that came out in the mid-70s by a man named Ellenberger that explains that, if you want to get into the details. And it's just pitiful, the path that they've taken trying to get to psychology from our medicine ways. And they're still working at it. But the best, in my experience and view, is Carl Jung's work. He really got closer than anybody in the psychology system today. And of course, my own Salagi, ancestral experiences are steeped in these medicine ways. So, this guided transformation dance ritual is a ceremony that will allow us to participate in creations of collective evolution. We're contributing to the evolution of this wave of humans that we're in, and we're helping the earth regain her natural ways when we do these things. And ritual is a return to the original experience of humanness. We become more human when we can participate in these ways. Now, Martin Luther King demonstrated some Jungian empirical science ways when he shared the speech about his dream. And it's his most remembered event. And if you look at the YouTube videos, you'll see that things have been cut out. You'll notice, in the 6-minute speech that there's a cutaway. And in the 17-minute speech, there's a cut to the Lincoln Memorial. And, there was a lot that was left out. But what the Jungian, I guess we would call them the Jungians who've really studied history, they've studied those as scholars. They've studied those original speeches, and they were able to see what was cut out. And it was actually getting a little restless. The crowd was getting a little restless. And up until that point, he had been really cool and delivering the speech in a beautiful way. And the cutaway was because he was a little concerned. And if you look closely, you'll see Mahalia Jackson sitting to his left because she had been singing earlier. And she called out to Martin Luther King at just that point when nobody knew what to do. And she said, "Tell them about your dream." And he did. That's when the real speech started. Now this is a beautiful example of the feminine. Okay? When they go back to the speech, you can see his energy has changed. You can see his whole countenance has shifted, and it's shifted into the magical realm. Now this is what we, as mostly women here, must do again for men. This is the anima guide to the soul of men, the inner feminine. And we must guide them back to their inner power. The opposite of this is the seductress that has power over them and takes them away from their inner power. Okay, that's where we are as collective. So we as women must go back to being a guide to their soul, to their inner power, helping them get there. This is something we're dancing for today. And this is something we're going to hopefully keep dancing for. Now, when Native Americans speak of spirit, that word is interchangeable with quantum physics. Okay, these things happen in the magical ways. They don't happen in the linear ways of our collective right now. Okay, there's a great book on this. Vine Deloria Jr., who is a relative of Chief Phil, who is our Four Worlds Indigenous leader, putting all this on for us and bringing us all together. We really appreciate his work and his help. And the book is called The Way We Used to Live. So if you can read this book and understand what is being shared and what is available within the magic, we can return to our original human ways by doing things like we're doing today. And the endings that we're calling for are the values identified by Martin Luther King. This is just an example of some of the things that we're asking the eagles to hunt the ending for. Okay, this convergence says it, I'm quoting, in Dr. King's beloved community, all people share in the wealth of the earth. The beloved community overcomes poverty, hunger, and homelessness. All people share in the wealth of the earth, okay? There is an all-inclusive spirit to replace racism and all forms of discrimination, bigotry, and prejudice. Okay, so that's what we're doing. That's what we're calling in the eagles to help us do today. Okay, now at this time, I want to check our time. We only have an hour here. So I want to ask you if anyone has ancestral eagle teachings that they can share in just a sentence or two that they would like to share. Just raise your hand. Anybody have anything they want to share out there? And of course, perhaps on Facebook, you can share in the chat. Unfortunately, we can't see it. We want to encourage everyone in the lobby to come in and dance with us. And I see our presenters who were just presenting on peace, their grant on conversations around peace in Chicago. Welcome. Glad you can join us. Hope to see you dancing here with us. Does anybody have ancestral eagle teachings and ways that they'd like to share briefly at this time? Okay, just open up your mic and share quickly if you do, and if not, we're going to continue on to our dance. Okay, Claudia was going to share her Mayan teachings. We miss her and hope she'll do that with us at some point. Maybe she can share that in the Facebook chat too. For all the people on Facebook, they can get some eagle teachings going there. And we'll just continue on with our dance. Are there any questions before we dance? Okay, Claudia is going to spotlight Sarah and Molly and me in the top 3, and possibly Suzanne in the top 3 gallery views, our Muppet boxes, so that if you're dancing and you want to come back to a little guidance, which is also in the music. I'm guiding the dance in the YouTube video and the music that Pamela is going to share with us today, that we're going to actually dance to, so I can dance also without worrying about talking and being heard at the same time. This video is available on YouTube. She'll put that link in the chat for you if you want to go dance again and again and again with the eagles. And we want to actually feel the eagles. Now we're going to come back after the dance and have time for each of you to share about your experience of what we're doing here today. and how your dance feels. This is the way that we avoid appropriation of Native ways. We actually join in community and share our experiences and ongoing relationships rather than a one and done and think we know something about Native ways when we just had one experience. We come back and we talk about our experiences and we all share our experiences. And of course, that's always accompanied with a feast, which is something we can't do on Zoom yet, but they're working on all kinds of things. So who knows, maybe I can pass some chocolate truffles someday on Zoom. But for now, we're going to come back after this music and this experience and share our experiences and build our relationship so that we avoid appropriation. Okay, and we also have an experience of respectful community and equality without hierarchy. We want to have that experience today. So we all want to share our experiences. And when we allow the eagles to dance through our body, we are connected with our soul. Okay? Whether you're up on your feet dancing or you're sitting in your seat, soaring with your hands or moving however you want to move, or not moving, just listening and letting the music move you and feeling the eagles as they come into the room with us and as they hunt for the endings that we need to see at this time in the collective. You still have experiences that we'd love to hear about, so plan on sharing your experiences when we come back. And as you're danced by your soul and the eagles are allowed to dance through your body, be careful. You know, you want to close your eyes a little bit to connect with your soul, but you also want to be aware of your physical surroundings and boundaries so that you're safe wherever you are. Okay? Are there any questions before we start the music and start the dance? Just open your mic and ask if you have questions. Okay. Then is everybody ready, comfortable in your space, and ready to dance? Let's stay in gallery view with our hopeful leading dancers. And let's ask Pamela to start the music. And then she will spotlight whoever she chooses to as we're dancing. Okay, I'm going to tilt my screen so you can see a little more of the dance. My dog actually got scared when he heard this music. I think he was feeling the eagles. Hopefully he'll feel safe today. And who knows, maybe he'll join the dance. We'll see. Okay, so Pamela, whenever you're ready, looks like we are ready to dance. We are grateful to all who join in this guided dance to call in the eagles to hunt for endings so Mother Earth can renew in 2022. We become one in this ritual by sharing common movements as we dance our own way. Eagles are the lookout on the mountain. With keen eyes and ears, they step up with their heart. Eyes search as their head turns and cocks to listen for the slightest sound. Wings are folded as they prepare for flight by engaging all of their senses. We step up with our heart in a Salagi dance step as we feel the eagles and invite them to dance through our body. Stepping into the air and gliding into a counterclockwise circle, we spread our arms like the eagle's wings, listening to the air currents and the earth beat of the drum. We move, conveying majestic potential in circles of magic. honoring all directions and all beings with this circling for one more minute. With minimal effort, the eagles rise up beyond the blue in the sky, earthly beings of those unreachable heights, untangling with mediation magic so we can grasp our highest and best. We spiral and spin with our soul, spirit, and warmth of life in this higher view. Take a few minutes to spiral and spin as we untangle attachments to old ways that are unsustainable. Symbols clash as we hunt for endings to unkind and unsustainable ways. We wait with competent patience, gliding silently and slowly, stopping for moments and hovering over prayers that will nurture new ways for 100% of life, bringing new timing and movements as we swoop and soar and use our wings of magic and mystery to make things happen, from glide to talons in the same movement. Hunt with the eagles for a few more minutes, please. and then coming in for landing. For Eagle is an earth sign that needs to be grounded. Each individual must save himself. Hope and encouragement are the greatest gifts. Eagle is the sign of a bright new tomorrow, winged moonlight. Thank you for joining us. We are grateful.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you.
I'm going to stop the live stream.